Yo guys, this is Dr4gonBlitz. We got some friends with me. We got Psycho Ripper, we got Guest. We're going to be playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're ready on time or not, but I will have my own timer as well, just for the sake of there is a time-specific kind of mechanic that goes on in the game. The first 8 minutes, you cannot lose time if you go fast enough because you have to wait for this statue in this one room. It either opens or closes depending on the in-game timer. So I'm going to minimize wasting in-game time for the first 8 minutes, and then after that, it's just kind of like waiting to get there at 8 minutes. But this timer is just going to help me like know when exactly the statue is going to open, so that way I can like optimize my movement going into it. Saves about a second.
Every second counts.
Yeah. Funny story. 2 days ago, I was doing some like offline attempts just with no reset strats and stuff like that, and the world record for this category is held by me at 16 minutes 52 seconds. The run I got was 16 minutes 53 seconds.
Ooh.
So
this game is very competitive, though. I know that.
Yeah, we have a pretty great scene going right now. We, of course, have the legend, the long but not forgotten Rom Scout. Yeah, we got some up-and-comers who've been playing the game for a while, but like just recently it's starting to get really good times. Mateko, shout-outs to him and his second-place time that he got recently. I forget exactly what it is. I think it's like a 16:56, something like that. Really good time. We're good? All right.
All right.
Time is going to be 3, 2, 1, go. First, you're going to notice I'm playing as Richter, which is weird.
Yeah, if you saw the previous run, this might be familiar.
Richter gets to move a lot more in Symphony of the Night, which is cool.
Yep.
He has a lot more moves. Right now, we're fighting Dracula, which is like, the end of the game. Yay, we did it.
Die, monster.
See, he's throwing out items here because he needs to get his hearts down to a certain amount in order to spawn with a certain item when he starts playing Alucard.
Yeah, they've put in the game that the prologue, what you do in the prologue is going to determine what items you have during your actual like gameplay.
Good holy water.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So that was good. Because I got more than 40 hearts, I'm going to be spawning with a neutron bomb, which will allow me to do this one thing called the death skip, which is...
It's pretty complicated.
Yeah. It requires this one glitch that's called reverse shift line. Fancy name for something that basically all we're doing is manipulating the game to send Alucard one screen over when he enters a loading zone. So...
That's going to allow us to skip death and keep all of our inventory.
Oh crap, my timer fell. Whatever. I'll pick it up.
Right here, he's doing a technique called shield dashing. Your shield is essentially canceling out the dash attack every time you do it. So you just kind of press buttons constantly, and it's pretty
that's
fast.
fun.
Let's
go.
Oh, and jerks.
Yeah, the zombies spawn randomly, so I was just hoping that one wouldn't spawn there. They usually don't. Right here, I'm going to be setting it up.
This wolf right here.
That damage is intentional.
Now he's going to equip it.
Nice, got it.
Got it.
Oh!
What happened?
The buffer, it like dropped the input.
Oh. You got to make up all that time now.
Yeah, might be. I had to reset, yeah. I could have been a man and did it without death skip, but that would have taken literally like way longer. So
yeah, the unfortunate thing about failing that is that if you do screw it up, it's a very detrimental
the hard part
loss.
too. I'm so mad. Anyways, if we can reset, that'd be really cool. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, same thing all over again.
Yep.
I guess I can give a little bit more context as to what's actually going on. But so here you see that I'm collecting those extra hearts, and exactly with 41 because you need more than 40. I'm so mad.
Maybe we can explain how holy water works.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get to explain the damage stack glitch. So essentially when you do the item crash, Hydrostorm, and you throw a holy water, you have a chance if it lands on the floor on a specific frame. Those frames vary, but if it lands on the floor on a specific frame, it'll do damage for every single frame, like maximum holy water damage.
You didn't get it there.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. Anyway, they were both good fights. This time I'm not going to fail the death skip. It's not that hard.
Don't be a buster.
Yeah, I was literally holding the button and it didn't do the backdash, which is weird. Like normally, like during screen transitions or level ups or anything like that, you can hold an input and it'll buffer it until the animation is over. But for whatever reason there, it just didn't. Maybe I did like a... This game's weird, and like the input reader is kind of broken. Like it'll read what you do, but then just kind of ignore it sometimes. So. These zombies. So essentially, like when you see that I'm moving backwards like this, I'm just mashing 2 buttons as fast as possible: the backdash button and the shield button.
It's gonna wear on you after a while. It's, you don't have to practice for it.
There we go. Holding the button. There we go. And we did it. Yay.
Nice.
Normally there, if you talk to death, he steals all of your equipment that you have. Like, normally you're just not supposed to have it. Oh. Come on. That wastes a little bit of time. Every time I open the menu, it wastes time because the in-game timer doesn't move, but the real time, like, obviously real time is, being wasted, so. So that's a little disappointing, but, and the reason why you don't want to waste in-game time is because you have to wait for the timer anyways, so the least amount of in-game time you can waste is what is optimal. Now that, like, the clock rush has kind of started, I call it the clock rush because, like, everything that I'm doing now doesn't really matter. Like, I can get hit, I can, like, waste time, I can kind of just, you know, as long as I move generally fast enough, I'll make it in time for the statue to move out of the way.
Right.
So yeah, if you guys want to, oh, I guess I can talk about like how the game has kind of evolved and like what my route entails. Like right now, I'm killing a very specific set of enemies. Like I'm gonna skip this guy, even though it's kind of faster to kill him. You do that because you want a very specific level route. Like right now, I'm gonna try and kill Slogra and Gaibon on the same frame. It helps me save a little bit of time later on as far as leveling up. I didn't get it. You would have seen like 2 blue diamonds, and that's like the hit animation on frame 1. Either way, so because of that, I'm going to get 1 extra level up. Doesn't really matter too much, but
it just makes frames.
It just makes things that a little bit faster in the clock rush, but I mean, that doesn't really matter too much. So I'm going to get a level up right here. That level up animation stacks, so if you get multiple level ups, you only get 1 animation for it, which is nice. So basically what we've done is we've routed out what enemies to kill to make sure that we get the most amount of level ups in 1 animation, like stack the animations on top of each other. So basically we're killing just enough to not level up off regular enemies, but mostly off of bosses. Coming up are some flea men. As we've seen in Rondo of Blood, they can be really annoying. Oh, come on.
Just 1.
This is our first encounter with Maria. She's grown up a little bit. It's like supposed to be like 6 years later or something. I don't know.
Interesting to note that you have to have a complete game file in order to do some of these like text skips, and it's pretty important for a trick coming up in the library. It's a little farther off though.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you have to complete the game at least once, and any clear file that you have after that allows you to just skip cutscenes. You can't normally skip cutscenes.
Yeah, I figured that. I tried running this game myself previously, and I was like, oh, why can't I skip this and do shop glitch? No. You have to beat it first.
Because I didn't get the double kill on Slogar and Gaibon, I'm actually skipping these enemies, even though it's a little bit faster to kill them. So that's just a little bit of a route difference, whether you actually get the double kill or not. These stone roses, though, you want to kill them no matter what. As you saw maybe a little bit earlier, I got the stopwatch sub-weapon. I'm going to be using that on the doppelganger boss coming up soon, because it's the only boss. He is the only boss that gets affected by the stopwatch. Normally it just freezes enemies if they're weak enough. For whatever reason, it just freezes him. It doesn't work on any other bosses, so pretty convenient. Yeah, and he's a pretty like pattern-heavy boss. I wouldn't say RNG, but like you can manipulate him if you don't have the stopwatch. But it's really annoying. We'd rather just use the stopwatch and kill him real quick. Just like that.
Tough boss.
Yep. And I stacked a few levels during that fight, so I won't be leveling up for quite a while. Oh, come on. Yeah, Alucard's jump height is a little bit weird. If he's standing on a slope, it's, I think, slightly different as opposed to standing on flat ground. Right there, I killed all those guys because they gave me just enough experience to minimize some levels later on.
Just going up here to activate the elevator.
Yeah, right here, the switch. You'll see it says elevator activated on the bottom.
That means that the elevator has in fact been activated.
I'm going for there's a frame perfect trick there that you can like clip through the floor. The elevator's open, so now I can get the Soul of Wolf, which lets me transform into a wolf, which is going to be pretty important for a sequence break coming up. It's a pretty popular, like, well-known sequence break. If you know anything about the sequence, like the actual route of this game is you're supposed to get like the double jump ability and then come all the way back here into the clock room where the statue opens and stuff. And it's kind of annoying because like when you transform into a wolf, it allows you to dive kick afterwards. And you can do that to dive kick off of candles, enemies, whatever. And you can sequence break using that, basically using it as a second jump. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this time around I'm going to be killing those enemies because it sets up the experience properly. Shoutouts to Talik Zealot, who did most, if not all, of the routing for the experience route, which is really, like, it's allowed us to save, like, well, not tens of seconds, probably like 10 seconds overall over the previous route just from, like, extra level ups. Right now I'm using the wolf to move around just because the wolf is faster on uneven terrain because like he doesn't lose any momentum going over slopes or gaps. Okay, and here is the clock room. So the clock rush is over.
Just grinding hearts here.
Just in case I need them.
You never know.
And let's see where my timer's at. Oh, I got some time. Straight chilling over here.
Yeah.
That'll happen. Because I paused, I'm not sure exactly when this is going to open. I'm going to guess
soon.
Yeah.
And there's the dive kick candle. There we go. And
that's the sequence break. Oh. Yeah, I'm just going to knock my phone on the floor. I don't want to deal with it. Okay. Now that we're in all access quarters, all of our movement now matters because, you know, we're actually trying to save as much time as possible. That makes this game pretty competitive because for the first 8 minutes of the run, you can't really save any time. Like, you can optimize very little. But then right afterwards, it's like everything, every little moment can be optimized.
Well, the very beginning with Richter, you can still save time there.
Yeah. Killing that guy because he gives me just enough experience just to, it's worth killing him. Saves me like 3 level ups later on.
That library card's going to be used to go back to library, essentially. Exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, the library card is a use item. You equipped it and you use it, and it allows you to teleport to the library, which I'm going to be using right after I get the mist ability.
Skip a cutscene there.
Yeah, form of mist.
The menuing.
Alrighty. Now, I picked up a potion earlier on just to make this trick a little bit easier, but these books are very random, and their hitbox changes, like it varies from frame to frame, so potions make you invincible for a little bit, so I can just go into his hitbox and not really worry about it.
And use mist to just get a little more distance on those leaps as well.
Now that I have the fairy card's broken, only because it like kind of ruins or kind of messes with the shop when you try and talk to the shop owner. It allows you to basically pause the game while selling items, and you can use that to underflow sellable items. So that's going to be fun.
I'm interested in...
Ooh. What?
I'm interested in this.
And now he has 255 garnets, and he's just going to sell what he needs to. Get the Duplicator, Buffalo Star, and Mana Prism.
I'm interested in this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ooh.
And
what?
Roll 5.
Yeah, a lot of spaghetti, but it's fine.
Farewell for now.
Menuing can be hard.
Yeah, the menuing is a little bit difficult in this game just because like how you can optimize it, and I went for a really optimized menu that I basically learned yesterday. Shout out to Talik, not Talik, I'm sorry, Mateka was the one who came up with it. Here I'm using the stopwatch just because those axe fleamen are really, really annoying, and I'd rather them just not mess with me. Here's another boss.
Yeah, that was a boss.
Yeah.
That was a boss.
I bought a bunch of Buffalo Stars, which are normally only use items, like you can only use them once, but because I bought the duplicator as well, I can use as many of them as I'd like. So I can use them for movement and also killing enemies, so it's pretty cool. And now that we can turn into the bat transformation is super nice because you get to just move fast.
Wing smashing all day.
It's a spell, which requires a pretty finicky input, and it uses up 25 mana, I think, or 20 mana, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that much, I don't know.
Even so, he's constantly using mana prisms throughout the form here, so he's going to be able to just have as much mana as he needs to go as fast as he needs to.
Alrighty, and now that we're out of the library, we're basically just trying to get to the end of the game as fast as possible. Because we have everything we need to skip into the final boss chamber. We just need to get there. You can see me doing, like at the end of my wing smashes, I transform into the mist and then back into the bat. That basically just lets me quickly reset my momentum. Because once you start a wing smash, you're just kind of locked into it for however long until it ends, or if you keep like doing the wing smash input over and over again, it just keeps going. I'm going to try for a new strat in this room that could save me a little bit of time, but it's a little tricky. I bonked there. Alright, here's the backup. And I didn't get it. Oh well. There's an invisible wall there that I barely missed, so that's cool. It saves a little bit of time if you don't hit it. It's kind of like, you can't really like purposely avoid it. It's kind of random.
Also a boss.
Oh yeah, more bosses. I forget that there's like bosses in this game because you just kill them so quickly.
Yeah.
Right here, I'm going to be doing Richter skip.
All right, there's a couple of ways to do this. I used to know the old way until recently, where I learned you can like use the wolf transformation and jump in a specific angle. I'm not actually sure how it works myself.
Essentially, there's that block that I broke. You can fit the entire wolf hitbox into that block as you jump. So you never enter the room, technically, from the game's point of view, so it never loads the cutscene.
See, the one I knew was the bad transformation going down.
That's a similar mechanic where you basically don't have a hitbox for one frame as you enter the room.
There used to be a really ridiculous setup for it where you basically jump from the bottom all the way to the top with the wolf. That was a really old route.
Oh yeah, that was 2007 or something. Fun times, back before they knew that you could just skip everything.
So I believe now we're going to go back to the clock tower in order to do another one of those screen transition glitches in order to essentially get ourselves stuck in the wall and get to Shaft and Dracula quickly.
Yeah, I'm kind of skipping these bosses. Normally there's 5 bosses you have to fight, and they give you these relics. I bonked there, I didn't want to. They give you these relics that let you like get to the end room of the game. I'm just going to skip into there because, as you saw when I skipped death, you can just kind of move. Like, walls are kind of suggestions in this game. They're not really, like, definite.
Nice.
You can do whatever you want to get past walls, realistically.
Walls don't exist. Well, walls don't have to exist if you don't want them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of tricky movement through this room, but overall, not too bad. This next room coming up can be scary. If I drop a wing smash input, I could just die, so there's that. Just because the Minotaurs and werewolves, like, I'm so under-leveled that they can just kind of kill me. That room is super scary. Okay. Alrighty, and we're out of the Coliseum, and we're getting to the last part of the game. This room's a little awkward no matter what character you play, because like there's 3 different characters possible in this game. There's Richter, there's Alucard, and there's Maria. Maria's only available on the Sega Saturn version, which is
She's also in the PSP version, though.
Yeah, but she's kind of a different character in the PSP version. She's just kind of like Richter light. You know, like Diet Richter, not really like her own character. Oh, dang. So I'm setting up for the reverse shift line right here.
Here's a heart refresh.
Okay, that should work. I have a little visual cue that I use with the blocks on the floor.
All right,
now that
he's
I'm in the ceiling.
stuck in the ceiling, so he's going to be constantly wing smashing in order to get to the zone trigger right here.
There we go. And this is the final area of the game. I'm going to equip double Buffalo Stars so I can mash with both X and B, both my attack buttons. Because you're only supposed to have 3 on the screen at once, but if you have them in both of your hands, you can get 6 on the screen at once. Just lets you kill bosses quicker. Especially with Dracula, he has a lot of health, so you want to do this as fast as possible. I'm going to just get out of the way of Shaft. By the way, this is Shaft. He's back again. He never really dies.
And that was Shaft.
Yeah. Something about the story in this game. Shaft takes control of Richter, makes him the lord of this castle. Dracula doesn't want to deal with Belmonts, but instead his own son, Alucard. Alucard is Dracula backwards, guys. Spoilers.
I never knew.
Illuminati confirmed. But this is Dracula, yeah. So we're just here to kill Dad. No
Time's
big
coming
deal.
up, by the way.
Yeah, time is going to be coming up soon. And time.
Go back whence you came. Trouble the soul of my mother.
Your time is 17:28.
How?
That sucks.
How is it that I've been
Maybe a
so
15 without
defeated?
the reset to start, maybe.
You have been doomed
I don't know,
ever
did
since
they?
you lost
I don't
the
know.
ability
They did, yeah.
to love.
Oh,
They had to
so-
reset the start.
Oh,
That wasn't the best run I could have had, but either way.
Still pretty decent.
Profit is
Still
it
better
to
than
a
me.
man if he
But now you get to
gains
celebrate
the
at the
world
ending.
and loses
Oh,
his own
yes.
soul?
Yes. Matthew 16:26, I believe. I've heard this cutscene way too many times.
Tell me, what
were Lisa's last words?
She said, "Do not hate humans.
Yeah,
If
a
you
little bit
cannot
about the
live with
story.
them, then at least do them no harm."
If you actually
For
like play
theirs
through the
is
game
already
normally,
a
like
hard
the
life.
route
She
for
also
a
said
casual
to tell you
playthrough is
that she
completely
would love you
different.
for all of eternity.
I never even got the double jump ability. I never got like the gravity jump ability, which isn't necessary, but it's kind of like a neat thing to do. Like if I was doing an all bosses run, you would see both the double jump and the gravity jump, because it just like adds to more movement options and stuff like that. It's really cool.
He also skipped the fight with Richter, which requires the, was it like some sort of
Holy
glass?
glasses.
Holy
yeah.
glasses, yeah.
And in order to get the holy glasses, you have to talk to Maria in this one room, and you need a bunch of just random items, basically. So you're just like, it's like a scavenger hunt. You're going through the castle, and then as soon as you get everything, you save Richter, and then the game kind of gives you this twist ending where it's like, just kidding, you have to go through the castle again, except everything's upside down. It doesn't really tell you like what you're supposed to do or anything. You end up finding out that you have to kill bosses. It's pretty cool. Alucard, he just kind of runs off into the forest, never seen from again, unless you play Dawn of Sorrow. And you might see him in that game, maybe you won't. Not going to spoil that. Even though the game's been out for like 12 years or something. I don't know. It's been a while.
Don't you want to go after
Yeah.
him?
If you have the 200.6% map completion, because there's 2 castles, each have 100%, and then there's secret rooms which add to 0.6 when you add them up in both the first and second castle. Maria has a different dialogue here, where she actually goes and saves Alucard, or goes after him, not saves him. But I'm playing on the unpatched version, as you can tell,
yeah.
because you can hear this beautiful song start up. This is the ending credits, which is like 4 minutes slower, these credits, than the patched version.
I think you mean 4 minutes better.
4 minutes better. I think the song overall is like 7.5 minutes. It's pretty great. If you ever get a chance, I just recommend looking up I Am the Wind by, is it Gerald Albright? No.
I don't know.
I think he's the saxist. He has a sax solo in the
That's
song.
the most important part of the song, though.
So good.
But yeah.
The lyrics, super inspirational. There's nothing better than getting the run and just hearing this playing.
You know, in fact, you are the wind.
You are the wind. I face my destiny every time. I forget the lyrics. It's been a while. I've actually basically been on a hiatus from this game for like 2 months, but I started playing again because I wanted to practice for the marathon and had a bunch of fun. It's pretty great. If you like Castlevania, I definitely recommend like following my Twitch. I'm going to be doing
What a plug.
yeah, I'm going to be doing world record attempts for the next couple of weeks. The world record's going to get demolished for sure. Like it's only a matter of time.
Oh, that confidence.
No, like if I can get 1 second off world record using marathon safe strats, like I can definitely like beat the time by like 10 to 15 seconds. And then on top of that, there's a new route that we're possibly like messing around with where the clock rush won't even be an issue anymore. Essentially, we're going to go so fast throughout the clock rush that we get there. Like I got there with like at 7:30 or 7:35, something like that. If I saved enough time, I could get there before the 7-minute mark, before the statue even closes in the first place, and just go. So that would be the dream. That saves like 45 to a minute. But it's just so difficult. No one's ever been able to do it. We're not even sure if it's possible, but I'll probably be doing some testing on that. Yeah, that's Symphony of the Night.